Hello and welcome to Outright. Today is very special day. Not because I have chosen to appear myself, but day before yesterday, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada chose to appear before the House of Commons and level some serious allegations against India. He blamed India, he accused India of killing a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. A G7 country, a big deal. First time a Western country is accusing India of an extrajudicial killing on foreign soil. So this became a big deal, and Canada has had such type of relationship with China also. But the thing with China and India is that India is a Western partner. Previously, when he would go against China, he would find all G7 allies backing him up, and you would see statements from UK, from Australia, from US backing you. This time he chose to take on India, and India is not some other country. India is fifth largest economy. India is the West's chosen partner for tackling the China challenge, and Justin Trudeau or Canada just cannot get away with it. So we are going to discuss today five setbacks that Justin Trudeau has received ever since he chose to go all guns blazing against India. So the topic of the video is what Trudeau expected versus what actually happened. Let's begin. The first setback that no country, no G7 country, no Western country came to back Trudeau's claims. We saw a statement from US, it expressed concerns and nothing more. It did not take India's name. A statement from UK also came, but it suggested that everyone should respect each other's sovereignty, territorial integrity. It seemed more like a lesson for Justin Trudeau than an actual backing of Trudeau's claims. So it was not a very convincing statement either. And then a reaction also came from Prime Minister Albanese of Australia when he was asked by a reporter about the ties with Prime Minister Modi. He responded by saying that he should chill out, and it was nothing wrong in welcoming Prime Minister Modi because he was given a grand welcome by the Indian diaspora.
The foreign ministry says it's raised concern from the Indian government about its alleged role in the death of British Sikh activists in Canada. You raised those concerns personally with Mr. Modi at the G20, and do you regret calling him a monster?
Seriously? You should chill out a bit. You know, we're at a venue where Bruce Springsteen played the last time I was there, and I made the point that the reception he got from the community, which was a very broad-based community, were there, from the Indian diaspora, welcomed him very strongly.
So far, the response from Canadian allies has been very mild. Justin Trudeau had expected that G7 allies, or at least UK, US, and Australia, will back Trudeau's claims, but instead, these countries are treading a very fine line because they understand the importance of India, unlike Justin Trudeau. The second setback is that even the Canadian opposition is not taking Trudeau's claims seriously. Today, Pierre Poilievre, who is a major opposition leader there, today he said that Prime Minister Trudeau was yet to reveal some significant, some material fact or evidence that could prove his allegations. And he also suggested that Trudeau's claims, if proven wrong, could pose a real threat to Canada's security.
On the issue of India, does Canada need to change its relationship with India in light of the intelligence the Prime Minister shared yesterday?
I think the Prime Minister needs to come clean with all the facts. We need to know all the evidence possible so that Canadians can make judgments on that.
Response? They just expelled an Indian diplomat. Should they do more in response to this news?
I think we need to see more facts. The Prime Minister hasn't provided any facts. He provided a statement, and I will just emphasize that he didn't tell me any more in private than he told Canadians in public, so we want to see more information.
What's the risk if he
doesn't, what is the risk if he doesn't provide more information or these allegations are found somehow to be untrue or uncredible? What is the risk?
Real.
Well, what specific information, what specific facts do you think Canadians and yourself need to know in this situation?
We need to have the evidence that that allowed the Prime Minister to come to the conclusions he made yesterday.
Do you agree with the government's decision to go public with the intelligence, and if so, why?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do you agree with the government's decision to go public with the intelligence, and if so, why?
I would have to have more evidence to make a judgment on that. I do find it interesting that he knew about vast foreign interference by Beijing for many years, at the same time as Beijing had kept 2 Canadian citizens hostage, and he said nothing and he did nothing. Just very, very interesting that was the approach he took in that case.
So again, the opposition in Canada is also not taking him seriously because he has no credibility. Moving on to third setback, and it came from G7 countries again. So we all know that UN General Assembly meeting is going on in New York, and on the sidelines of this meeting, UNGA, G7 foreign ministers met today. All G7 countries met and discussed all topics of the world, including China and Indo-Pacific. But the issue of India and that Sikh terrorist murder never came up. This is in itself a big setback for Trudeau, that even G7 countries are not taking him seriously. Now to the fourth setback, and it came from US President Joe Biden. So he delivered his speech today at UNGA, and Trudeau was expecting him to speak about this incident, about this episode, because from the podium of UNGA, Biden, it is not uncommon for any US president to discuss foreign interference by China, by Russia, and this time Trudeau expected him to talk about India and to give a stern message. But Biden did refer to India once.
Indo-Pacific, we've elevated our Quad partnership with India, Japan, and Australia to deliver concrete progress for the people of the region on everything from vaccines to maritime security.
So again, this was a major setback, that US president who is speaking to UNGA just one day after he leveled allegation, he is not discussing India. Now moving on to the fifth setback, that ever since he chose to blame India, accuse India, his approval ratings have gone down. His credibility has taken a serious hit because again, he has not yet given a solid evidence, number one. Number two, that some believe that this is just a tactic to distract public from issues at home. Just like inflation is the top issue, then there is housing crisis. People are not able to get accommodation there. These are some real issues, and now Justin Trudeau, some believe he is orchestrating this international crisis just to rally support behind him. He also wants to appease Khalistanis and anti-India elements in Canada. So it has to do with national politics, and that's why people are now looking askance upon his theatrics, this whole episode. They believe that this is orchestrated just to appease that vote bank and to realize his ambitions. He is expanding, he is sacrificing his country's very good ties, warm ties with India, and this means that now India-Canada trade ties will get affected, and this means that Canadian farmers will lose money, will lose business. Canadian businesses will lose investments or money, and when you are not on good terms with the fifth largest economy as well as the second largest economy of the world, I'm talking about China, so you can only think that in which direction you are heading. These were the 5 setbacks that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has received ever since he went all guns blazing against India. And now what I expect is that either he come up with a solid evidence that that establishes India's role in the killing, or Canada is going to lose big time. The credibility is at stake, the international standing is at stake. That's all for today, and you can subscribe to Outright for more such videos. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video.